All right, so on that note, let's bring in the former DFAT Australia China Council scholar, Andrew Phelan. Andrew, good morning to you. So, yeah, more and more interesting comments that have come out of Richard Marles overnight. He certainly has taken a much stronger stance than I think a lot of people expected, given his history with China. As you know, there has been all this talk about relations thawing and olive branches, etc. Are you buying any of that?
Not really, Peter. It's a little bit like if you were watching State of Origin last night and had a commentary team that had never actually played the game. So I think most of this stuff is standard negotiating practice from China. And if you've been around the traps and you've been in the trenches of commerce in China, you're pretty used to this. It's kind of standard fare. But to be fair, I think the mainstream media, the commercial networks, are not terribly well equipped to cover the China challenge. And to be fair, it's very difficult to get people into China at the moment. It's a 10-year investment to be fluent in the language. So, and we're quite trusting, we're optimistic, we want to have a good relation. So sometimes we tend to take things at face value and kind of regurgitate or repeat some of the talking points that are coming out of the Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
China's definitely testing the water with a new government at the moment. I mean, that's a pretty standard play, I would have thought. Good luck to them. And Anthony Albanese and Penny Wong, they've responded as the way I think it's fair to say that we would have hoped. So do you expect China to pull back at all?
I've been really pleasantly surprised by the response and performance of the Labor government on China. Richard Marles has almost done a 180 compared to his last visit to China. And so I see real continuity. And they've inherited an AUKUS and run with that baton. So I'm very encouraged. At the same time, we tend to say, well, you know, the Solomons and so on is a sovereign nation. But let's not forget that sovereignty is tinged red with the blood of those young men that died fighting on Guadalcanal in World War II. And we should not be shy about reminding the likes of Sogavare about that legacy. I'd also add that China doesn't quite go about things the way we do, and it's important to recognise the way they go about it. They had 2 military attaches sneak into the Pacific Island Forum the other day pretending to be journalists. They got caught, they got kicked out. But that's an indication of the, there was a Harvard paper recently that talked about how Chinese SOEs have mafia-like tendencies. And of course, it's a country without an independent judiciary, with no real rule of law. And it's important to understand what we're dealing with here.
Well, I mean, I guess that doesn't come as a surprise either, even though it's quite funny. But I mean, the fact that Kamala Harris was beamed in as well, they would obviously like to know what she was talking about and what she was promising too. So it's all very interesting, isn't it? I just want to close on this image too of Anthony Albanese hugging it out with Manisa Sogavare. He's now coming around to the fact that perhaps we've just got to take him at his word that China won't build a military base or a naval base in Honiara. What do you think of that? I mean, well, I guess we have to take that approach because Solomon Islands is a sovereign nation.
Well, yes and no. I mean, I think, Kurt Campbell, Biden's Asia czar, went down to Honiara shortly after this deal was made known. And if you recall, then PM Morrison said that this was a red line, having a base there. I think this was a case of where you smash the glass and break the red button. I would have gone down there with colleagues from the US, from Japan, and said to the Prime Minister, look, how can we help? What can we do to prevent this from happening? Because, of course, once the presence is there, it's very hard to budge. And we've seen what's happened on the other side of the Pacific in Kiribati, which has a population of about 100,000. What are the Chinese up to there? Well, Kiribati has 1.3 million square miles of ocean. It's the largest EEZ, exclusive economic zone, in the world. It's about the size of India. So there's fish stocks, and it's also getting close to Hawaii. So they're trying to do a bit of a divide and conquer strategy across the Pacific Island countries. And they're going to have some success and they're going to have some failures, but it's game on.
Yeah, and they'll keep on coming back. No doubt about 100%. That. They've tried so hard already. There's no reason for them to step back now.
They're not going away.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Good to chat, Andrew. We'll talk to you again soon.